So you're thinking about making that move to Bend sometime in 2025. Or maybe you're already here, getting ready for that lateral shift. Going to be making that purchase finally in 2025, somewhere in Bend in Central Oregon. Well, today's video, we're going to be talking all about the west side of Bend. Now, Bend in general is very popular, but the west side of Bend, probably the most popular. You get a lot of people from out of town asking about the west side of Bend. How can I live over there? What are the best neighborhoods over there? Today, we're going to be discussing what 7 different subdivisions look like. We're going to be driving in the car through each and every one of them. They're all kind of adjacent with each other, so it's going to be a fun little driving tour. We're going to start in Tetherow, so that's basically at the corner of Skyline Ranch Road and Century Drive, and making our way northbound through several additional subdivisions, and just kind of getting the camera out and showing you guys the makeup of the landscape, what the houses look like, how close they are to each other, or how far apart they are from each other, how big they are, how little they are, what the key metrics of these neighborhoods and these houses are, and what they went for in terms of their price over the last year, to give you an understanding of what a $1 million house looks like versus maybe a $4 or $5 million house looks like on the west side of Bend. It's a very popular area, and there's different flavors of the west side, but they all kind of meet in the middle when it comes to the purpose that they serve. The gateway to the lakes, the gateway to the outdoors, the trails, the skiing, all that stuff, while also being very close to all the popular amenities on Bend's west side and downtown area. So if a video like this sounds like it could be of service to you, touring the west side of Bend in 7 different subdivisions, stick around. We're going to be jumping into the car right now. Hey, if this is your first time to the channel, or it's your 50th, it doesn't matter to me. And you want to know everything there is to know about living, eating, sleeping, working, playing, the good with the bad of living in Bend and surrounding sunny in late winter Central Oregon, then subscribe to the channel, tap that notification bell below so you can be the first to know about the current market happenings here in Bend and Central Oregon. My name's Ryan. I've lived in Bend for over 30 years. Zach and I, we get calls and texts every day from people just like you, looking for help with their next transaction as it relates to real estate here in Bend and Central Oregon. So whether you're looking to make that transaction a reality in the next 9 days or 90 days, it doesn't matter to us. Give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, set up a Zoom, or if you're local, let's go get coffee somewhere. We can discuss your situation, figure out what the next course of action should be. So with that out of the way, we're going to be discussing 7 different subdivisions all on the west side there. They're all kind of like adjacent from each other too. So if you look at a map, you're going to see like one and then another and then the next and then the next. And they're all, within 20 years of having broken ground, right? So Tetherow is where we're going to start. It's going to be the southernmost subdivision that we're going to be touring today. And then we'll funnel it into the Highlands at Broken Top. And then we'll head up to the Tree Farm and then to Westgate and then to Shevlin and then to Three Pines, and then we'll finally wrap it up at Shevlin Commons. There's all kinds of neighborhoods up there towards the north end of where we're going to be touring today. And we want to give you an understanding. I mean, there's different flavors within just a half a mile radius. And so all these things need to be addressed, especially if you're coming in from out of the area and you don't really have an understanding of each distinctive neighborhood and subdivision quite yet. We have a lot of clients that are coming in from out of the area over the next couple of months, and they know that they like a certain part of Bend, but they don't really know the makeup from one point to the next and so forth. And so maybe this video can really dispel that and help explain a little bit more of what the west side really is all about, because it's a fantastic part of town. It's probably the most popular, which is why it also commands the highest price point. So what we're going to do now is hop into the car, and we're going to start right there at the corner of Century Drive and Skyline Ranch Road, kind of go up that little hill there to get into the Tetherow Resort area, show you guys around, and then we'll carry on with the next subdivisions after that. And then we'll wrap it up towards the end there on the north end of the map where we're going to be touring here in Shevlin Commons. So let's hop into the car and we will see you along the tour. So we are ripping up this hill here. This is Skyline Ranch Road. Just kidding. But we are approaching Tetherow Resort here. And that's what we're going to start with today. We're at the very top of this little hill here. We're going to hang a right and kind of go into the parking lot of the commercial area. That's the clubhouse there, a couple restaurants. And on the other side of these buildings, you're going to see the golf driving range, the golf course, etc. Here's some more commercial buildings, the pavilion, the real estate office. Please give us a call. And then we circle around this parking lot. What you're going to see are some condominium units, little kids' playground there. And then it funnels kind of into a beginning stage of a single family residence neighborhood here as we kind of go down this road. We're basically heading to the east here, but you got these single family homes. So Tetherow is large. Now we're back out on Skyline Ranch Road. To the left, there is going to be a adjacent subdivision, all within the Tetherow Resort community. We're coming up here on a road to the left here. Now we'll take a side view, and these are homes on Bonneville. And you can see here, they're kind of next to each other a little bit, if you will. Tetherow has 400 home sites. So it's the largest subdivision that we're going to be touring here today. And as we get back out on Skyline Ranch Road, this is heading due north. We're going to be circling around here. That's Aubrey Butte there in the distance. We're coming up on housing on both sides, left and right. The golf course is also on the right-hand side, second tee here. And then the left-hand side, holes 3 through 8 are on the other side of that bridge. So golf carts go over that bridge that's right in front of us. But what we want to show you now is some interior homes to the right of where we were just driving on Skyline Ranch Road. Take a look at these homes. Look how close they are together. Some people don't like it. Some people do like it. But ultimately speaking, if you're going to be paying in the $2 million to $4 million range, sometimes people are going to want a little bit of space in between neighbors. So some data on Tetherow over the last year. There were 43 closings, and they ranged in between $740,000 for townhomes all the way up to $3.9 million for single family homes. The average lot size in Tetherow is 0.27 acres. So imagine these humongous homes on a relatively small lot, a quarter-acre lot, if you will. And that can be a hindrance for some people that are looking for additional space for their lot size. And we're going to explore a couple subdivisions here pretty soon that actually offer that larger lot sizes for similar size homes. And you can bet that the price point is going to be a little bit higher, especially on the west side when you're looking for property, because you don't get a lot of parcels of land, lot sizes that are larger than 1 acre, except for a couple newly or newer established subdivisions. So we're on Hosmer Lake Drive. This is still part of Tetherow. You can see that the homes are a little bit packed in there, but again, great views of the mountains looking to the west. You can see Bachelor, you can see Broken Top, you can see the South Sister there. A lot of times people, they get too close to the mountains where the foothills kind of obstruct the mountain views on the west side, the deep west side there. So could be good, could be kind of a hindrance on your view of the mountain if you're too close, too far to the west. So now we're back out on Skyline Ranch Road. We're heading to the north. We're coming up on our second subdivision on today's tour. So if you look straight ahead now, you're going to see homes with space in between. This is called the Highlands at Broken Top, probably the premier, most expensive gated community in all of Bend. There's 50 lots. They're all 10 acres. And these houses are large. I mean, the average house, probably 6,000 or 7,000 square feet. The smallest one's probably in the 3,500 to 4,000 square foot range. Largest is probably 10, 11, 12, maybe 13 or more thousand square feet. Yeah, pretty wild, but not a ton comes on the market here. If they do, it's going to be limited to a select group that is able to get into that house. I mean, ask yourself the question, how big of a house do I actually need if I had my choice in the size of a home? A lot of these homes are going to be 6, 7, 8,000 square feet. Right now, there is one on the market. It is $9.9 million. It's been on the market for over 700 days, 12,000 square feet. Okay. How much is too much? And so maybe this is a reflection of the market. Most people don't need 12,000 square feet for a house unless you're trying to impress your neighbor or your best friend or whatever that you have this long-standing competition with about having to one-up each other. But anyhow, the Highlands at Broken Top had one closing last year in 2024, and it was for $3.995 million. Again, fantastic location, great 10-acre parcels, big space in between neighbors, of course, a great community in there, but it's large And it turns a lot of people off because too much can be a bad thing to a certain extent. And that's kind of the way the Highlands at Broken Top is really made up. So, on to the next and third subdivision. You can see where we're at now. We just took a right off of Skyliners Road. We were heading west, and now we're in the tree farm. We're coming up a little slope here, and this is a road. You can see the mailboxes up there on the right-hand side. There are 50 home sites in the tree farm, too. So we'll get up this hill and we'll start talking about the neighborhood makeup of the tree farm here in just a second. Okay, so Gold Mantle loop to the left, that's where we went. We are looping around here. You can see these houses here are in the trees, go figure, the tree farm, but you've got 2-acre parcels of land here, and some of these are going to be in the trees. You can't really see the mountains, and then as we continue getting a little bit away from the trees, you can see these homes here too are going to have these sweeping views of the mountains to the north and to the northwest. But these homes are going to be on 2-acre spreads, and so they have some space in between neighbors. Very popular area, 50 lots. And they all went for sale back in 2017, 2018, in that range for about 400 to 500 to 700, maybe $800,000 each. They all kind of sold out relatively quickly. Acreage on the west side of Bend. Now you see we're heading eastbound. There's Aubrey Butte to the left and then Pilot Butte straight ahead. But these homes here, there's 0 active right now. There were 2 that sold last year in 2024. One was for 2.2 million. The other was for 4.1 million. These homes, they'll range in between sizes of 2,500 square feet all the way up to 6,000 or 7,000 square feet. So a little bit more reasonable than, say, the Highlands at Broken Top, but it gives you that feel. People want to be on the west side. Again, it's close to all these amenities, outdoor amenities, commercial amenities on the west side of Bend. It's a great location. And as we continue driving, we just drove by the sign of Westgate. Okay, that's the next subdivision. It's adjacent to the tree farm, very similar in terms of its makeup. These homes are 2 to 4 acres, usually about 2.5 to 3 acres, and there are 85 home sites, a little bit newer, developed after the tree farm, but you can see the homes are already up. There's plenty that are under construction here, but less trees. So you look to the west, you have these sweeping views of the mountains. You got Bachelor over there on the left, Broken Top there in the middle. As we kind of meander to the right here now, northbound, we've got Mount Jefferson. We got Mount Hood beyond some of these houses here on our left-hand side, but these homes are large. And so to give you an understanding of Westgate, there's one active right now for 2.995 million. 85 home sites on this parcel in this subdivision. 3 closed back in 2024, and those range between 3.6 million and 5.9 million. Homes, again, big space in between neighbors. You have the luxury of building a custom home, can be as big as you want it to be, probably a minimum size, though, it has to be to meet a certain spec within the CC&Rs and HOA. But it gives you this understanding. You're paying for the location, you're paying for the space in between neighbors. Very rare to be in the city limits of Bend on the very west side and be able to have 2, 3 acres, maybe 4 acres. Whereas some of these subdivisions that we're about to approach, you're going to notice they're a little bit older, but they're also kind of all packed in together. Now, Shevlin West is coming up, and that's going to be a newer development. But again, these are smaller parcels of land. So as we continue on, we're back on McLean Drive now. And we're going to be coming into the next one. Again, all these subdivisions are just kind of back to back to back to back, right? They're all adjacent with each other. We hang a left here. Now we're into Shevlin West. And so what you'll notice here is that the houses obviously feel like they're on top of each other a little bit after having gone through those 3 prior subdivisions that had at least 2 acres per lot. And so here we are, Shevlin West. Again, it's a great neighborhood, west side. You've got views of the mountains. Not every house is going to have a view of the mountains. This is one of those situations where you feel like you're getting too close to the foothills because then they rise up and they obstruct the actual peaks with the snow on top of them. But some data points to consider here. There's one active home right now in Shevlin West for $1.8 million. 10 closings in 2024 in Shevlin West. There's 116 home sites in this subdivision, and those ranged in between 1.4 and 1.8 million dollars in terms of their closing price back in 2024. 0.21 acre is the average lot size here in Shevlin West, and the homes will range in between 2,200 and 3,200 square feet. A little bit more typical, right, than say some of those previous subdivisions with those monstrosities of houses where the owners maybe decided to build something crazy, but they didn't really think about, oh, how am I going to sell this thing in 10 years when my kids finally get out of the house? So now they sit forever. Okay, so now we're on to the next subdivision. We're moving right along here. This is called Three Pines, adjacent to Shevlin West. Again, very similar, larger lots than Shevlin West, 0.3 acres for an average lot size, but this subdivision's a little bit older, and you've got homes that range in between 2,500 square feet and 3,600 square feet typically. And we had two closes in 2024 between 1.349 and 1.7 million. So those price ranges right now, you're paying in the mid ones for a small lot with a nice house, and then you're paying 2 to 4 million for a little bit larger of a lot with as big of a house as you would prefer on some of those other subdivisions. So now we've made it to our final subdivision. This is called Shevlin Commons. We're on Park Commons Drive here, and we're heading to the west here. You can see those mountains, you can see the trees, you can see a little separation in between neighbors. It's not all like that in this subdivision, but it's definitely a little bit more secluded, it feels like. It's right on the west edge of Bend, and Shevlin Park is a relatively famous park locally here for outdoor hiking and whatnot. It's right adjacent to this particular subdivision. In fact, there's trailheads that literally just take you right into the park from this particular neighborhood. But to give you some specs on this, and we're facing the sun right now in this video, so we'll loop around here. It'll be much more clear here in just a second. But another pristine, beautiful bluebird day in mid to late February. So we're getting sunshine. You can see patches of snow on the ground. So we've had some snow. But as you look at these homes now, you have a clearer vision of what they look like. Shevlin Commons, there are 0 active. Now, there's 66 homes in this subdivision. 0 active. In 2024, there were 2 closings, okay? 2,500 square feet all the way up to 3,900 square feet. Average lot size is 0.38 acres. And these homes went between 2.3 million and 3.825 million. So that gives you some more perspective of what's going on the west side. Now, there's plenty of other subdivisions on the west side that are going to be more affordable for the masses, right? Again, the median home price on the west side is probably in the 1 million to 1.1 to maybe 1.2 million dollar range. Most of these houses that we've driven by in these 7 subdivisions are going to eclipse that median home price for the west side. So you can imagine there's plenty of other subdivisions that will bring that median home price down into the favorable position that it is on the west side, 1.2, 1.1 million. Now, the overall median home price in Bend is roughly 735,000 to 750,000 right now. So the majority of the homes on the west side are going to be a little bit higher price point. And it's all based on the proximity to the outdoor recreation that Bend is famous for to the west, as well as the amazing commercial offerings on the west side of Bend. Bend's west side has a lot of character. It's the original Old Town Bend, and that's where most people like to gravitate to, whether it's downtown Bend, the Drake Park area, the Old Mill District, the Box Factory, or just the west side itself. Very pedestrian friendly over there. There's plenty of small mom and pop style shops and restaurants. Really not too many chain style businesses on the west side, which gives it a lot of character. It makes it very desirable. That's where people ultimately want to be and spend their time when they come in from out of town to vacation, or if they're local, they already live here, they tend to gravitate to the west side to enjoy the amenities that are offered more often than not. It's also the gateway to Mount Bachelor and the Cascade Lake Scenic Byway. There's probably 6 or 7 golf courses on the west side as well. So very popular area. Hopefully this gives you a little perspective as to why the price points are so high on the west side. But we also went through 7 of the more premier subdivisions with their respective homes that are available, as well as those homes that are, priced where they're at. So hopefully that gives you that type of context that you would need. And, with the video footage that we had today, gives you an idea that all these subdivisions are just kind of back to back to back to back, and they all kind of intertwine with each other. So hopefully this gives you a little perspective. If you have questions, please reach out. Love to help you guys. Love to answer any questions or concerns and just help you figure out where you want to be the first time upon arrival. If you're already here, then maybe you already have that idea, at least a firm grasp on it, but we would love to help you kind of get to that next level, that next step in terms of helping you acquire and accomplish your goal as it relates to your real estate needs. My name's Ryan. I'm a licensed broker with eXp Realty here in the state of Oregon. Zach and I, we get calls on a regular basis, reach outs from people just like you guys watching these videos. Please reach out to us. It starts with you if it's your time, and we can have that conversation to help you figure out what the next course of action is. As always, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.